we gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
Sit down. Right, just because I had a haircut.
Yeah, we didn't get prepped for this.
Yeah, exactly. No one gave us the memo. Right, so welcome to our Back in Time review. Yes, reviewing older classic films with myself, LarryOlubamiwo, and
Mr. L Rock.
right. So today, due to our supporters always telling us, what films to review,
Have a look at,
yeah. We are now reviewing The Night Comes For Us. So hope you guys in Indonesia especially are happy with this. So yeah, let's dive right in and get it. What we're going to do is the same format as normal. I'm going to give some facts about the film. Damien's going to give some facts about the film. Then Damien's going to go give a brief synopsis of the film.
And then we're going to talk about
And then we're going to talk about it. Damien's already seen the film before. This is mine and Leon's first time watching the film.
Yeah.
So quite interesting to compare, But yeah, without further ado, let me get on with the facts. So The Night Comes For Us is a Indonesian action thriller that was released at FanFest first, premiered there on the 22nd of September 2018. But then it was released worldwide on the 19th of October 2018. It stars Iko Uwais, your boy Iko. Joe Taslim, who's also up there. Julie Estelle, if you remember, she was in The Raid 2. Hammer Girl. Sunny Pang, who plays Cheng Wu. And Zach Lee, who was also in The Raid 2.
Unrecognizable in this is Bobby, yeah.
Yeah. And he plays White Boy Bobby. So it's, as I said, it was an Indonesian action film. It's written and directed by Timo Thajanto. If you remember, we mentioned that he's going to be involved in the new Under Siege reboot, which might have your boy Iko in it.
You better have it.
Yeah, it better do.
Yeah, there's no one else.
For real. So, a few facts about this film. So, first of all, it was originally conceived as a screenplay. And then because of budget cuts, it was then adapted into a graphic novel, I'm guessing to raise some funds.
Yeah.
And then it became a film.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's quite interesting actually. So they must have sold a few graphic novels then to up the budget. You know what I mean? So another fact is that a sequel called The Night of the Operator, which is co-written by Thajanto and Aaron Stewart Hun, is in the works with Julie Estelle reprising her role as the operator. Hence the name, The Night of the Operator.
Smooth operator.
Go on with the vocals. So another fact is the film was released to mainly positive reviews, with critics praising the action and Uwais, Estelle, and Taslim's performances. Although they didn't like the excessive violence that was quite heavily criticised, and I think. They were right.
Yeah.
They were right.
Yeah.
Violent, heavy.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen
porn.
Yeah.
Porn.
100%. I mean, we saw The Raid too.
Yeah.
And that was pretty violent.
Yeah.
But I think in the context, it made sense.
Yeah.
There was a narrative reason for
Yeah.
it. Like, it works with that.
This one was just gratuitous.
Yeah.
This was
But
just.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that for real. So this is a very interesting fact. Very interesting. So a company called Radius TWC had acquired the North American distribution rights in 2014 prior to the beginning of production. But allegations against the label's owner, which was Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, what?
And his parent company, the Weinstein Company, which they were about to liquidate all the entire assets to Lantern Entertainment. So they sold the entire rights to Netflix, and that's how Netflix got the rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I did not know that. I did
not
not
know
know that.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it is as of October 2021. The film has an approval rating of 91%, based on 33 reviews, though.
Yeah,
so,
that's my argument. With that
yeah,
one.
yeah,
And where were they?
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure about that either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But with an average of 7.6 out of 10, which I think is around about the sort of
Yeah.
rating we probably
Yeah,
give it.
probably. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Get to that as well.
So another interesting fact is this is the first film to be this is the first Indonesian film to be distributed by Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. And I think Netflix are going to be more involved in Indonesian films.
I think they should be.
Yeah.
But apparently there's, as always, is an English remakes in the work, which I don't understand. But why? Because they're planning anyway.
As free English guys, we say this: no,
Leave
it alone.
Exactly.
Just leave
We can do
Leave it.
subtitles. We're not lazy.
Yeah. So
You
right.
can read.
Yeah, we can read. That helps.
So can you name a couple facts while I look into this
I'm
one?
gonna
please?
be honest with you. I don't have any particular facts on this movie. When I first saw it, it was back when it literally came out in 2018 when Netflix released it. I knew it was based on a graphic novel at the time, specifically because the director has got a lot of kind of like fascination, or so a big thing for him is Tarantino. So he loves the graphic style, which is quite heavy in this movie anyway.
Right, yeah.
But I don't have anything particularly
Okay,
fan-based.
okay.
I mean,
No,
there's a lot of connections to the raid. If you know, obviously, Bobby, who's in this movie, he actually plays the guy who gets his throat slit in the raid 2, who's a guy that tries to kill Uko in jail. Very, very different look for him in this movie.
Yes.
In fact, it actually really shows you that he can act.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's a very clean-cut, good-looking guy in the raid 2.
Yeah.
And then
He's not in it that much, is he? Because
No.
he's the one that gets bust
Yeah,
up.
but he gets bust up in the prison, tries to kill Uko, and then later on he gets dragged out, and he's the last one to get his throat slit. He's got
Yeah,
tattoos
he's the
back
one
in
that's
his neck.
looking at the guy when.
And he rolls up in this one as was it Bobby the white guy or
White Boy Bobby.
White Boy Bobby.
Yeah. And it's interesting why they gave him that name, because I've got another interesting fact about him. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Actually, you go for the interesting
okay.
facts, bro.
So he's actually half English, half Indonesian.
Okay.
Yeah, he grew up in Liverpool.
No way.
Seriously.
Yeah, he grew up in Liverpool.
Seriously, great. Seriously.
So I'd love to hear his accent. Honestly.
Do you know Stephen Graham?
Do you know Graham?
Stephen Gerrard?
Yeah.
Mike, don't knock the accent. It's great. It's
correct.
Because my director Mark Clark's probably watching this right now. I'm not.
Oh
mocking
yeah,
you,
yeah,
Mike,
yeah,
so-
yeah. Oh, some news we have to give you. But anyway,
Yeah.
So here's another very interesting fact. So in October 2018, when the film came out, American comic book artist Robert Layfield, who co-created the popular Marvel superhero character Deadpool, praised Tahajanto's work on the film via Twitter. And then he also suggested that Tahajanto should be given all the money for Deadpool 3, which is really interesting. And then he also suggested that maybe he should do a standalone cable film. So you remember Deadpool 2 had cable in it?
Yeah.
He was suggesting that maybe he should do a cable film, which I thought that was, you never know. He might be able to...
Yeah, because I'm over.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
I mean, if they're giving him Under Siege, then they're gonna,
Yeah.
he's directing that. So
He's on his way up.
Yeah,
He's on his way
100%.
up. He's been around for a long time.
100%.
But he's on his way up.
So another interesting fact is that in the film you hear about the 6 C's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're the 6 people that are in that are in control of all the all the naughtiness basically that goes on in the Southeast Asian market. They only show 2 of them.
Yeah.
That is Chen Wu,
Yep.
which is played by Sonny Pang, and obviously Joel Taslim, his character is Ito.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 of them in the show. That the reason for that is because they are planning sequels to these, and they want to be able to show the others in the sequel.
Right.
So I thought that was quite interesting.
I thought his character was an enforcer for the 60s. I didn't think he actually was one of the 60s. I'm confused.
No, he is because all the 6 Cs are enforcers. Yeah, I mean they're all enforcers. So that he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just getting, because I couldn't write all of these down because there was so many freaking facts to.
There's a lot on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot. Just give me a second.
A lot of facts, man. But while we wait, let me just look at the trim.
See, he didn't prep us for this. I didn't turn up. I haven't had the cut yet. Look at this mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Rolling up my school uniform on. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
Should have saved the page actually. Dumb me. Right. So actually, I can give you another one while we wait for this.
Yeah.
This film was not actually highly thought of in Indonesia.
No?
No.
Okay.
But actually, generally speaking, action films are not highly thought of in Indonesia.
Okay.
But especially action films that depict a lot of crime.
Right.
Because I see the point. Yeah. They feel like it portrays a negative image of Indonesians in general to the worldwide public. And I can understand that.
I can understand that, but understand this. They've been doing it to black folk for many, many years. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're with you. But, we know it's just film. It's just film.
Yeah.
So we're all right with that.
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
So the characters that play, let's see. The characters that play. No, sorry. The characters Elena and Alma, the 2 girls that are like enforcers for the Chinese mafia. I think one of them is not written here. Anyway, they are actually in another film together.
Right.
Okay.
And that film is a rom-com.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
like,
rom-com.
it's like in the raid with the guy who plays the hiding out with his wife. He's like a comedy actor.
Yeah, in it. Yeah, it's an actual rom-com. I'm trying to get the name of it. But yeah, it's crazy that they are in a rom-com. Let's see. Yeah, it's an Indonesian film called Aruna Hana Plate.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
Let us know.
Let us know if you've seen it.
Yeah, well, anyway. So there is a deleted scene in this movie, actually. And it features the operator.
Okay.
So after her confrontation with Iko's character, Arayan, the operator heads out to meet her blind overseer, who is referred to as the night handler. And after engaging in a bizarre conversation, the night handler removes his glasses and chants a few words, telling her to follow protocol. Now, this is the part of the film that really bothered me, because she's on a mission and she mentions this, but they never mention who put her on the mission and why. And that's the part of do you remember?
Yeah.
That's the part of the film that obviously bothered me. And that could have been sorted out by that deleted scene. I don't understand why they deleted that. Do you know what I mean?
That would have
cleared up a few
that would have
things.
cleared up a big hole in the plot.
Yeah. And I'll give one more because we need to get on.
Yes, one more.
The guy, so Yayan Rahian, who played Mad Dog.
Yeah. My guy, Mad Dog.
And Sisset.
They're supposed to be in this.
They were supposed to be in this.
Where were they?
They were. So basically, what happened was
They did John Wick 3.
no, the budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so remember-
what? They could afford them.
The budget was just too low. It was just too low.
Oh, they moved up quick then.
Yeah, it was just too low. It was just too low.
Okay.
Yeah. So they couldn't.
They've changed.
They couldn't.
Sesset went from being primary school teacher to you can't afford me
They can't
now.
afford me, man.
Have you seen the Raid 2? Yes.
Yeah.
I choreographed that.
So yeah,
Really?
but
John Wick will only now hire anything.
it's crazy, but yeah. But you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, those are your facts for The Night Comes For Us.
Yeah, you got them out in the end.
Yeah, we did. So,
You.
so please, Damien, give us a brief synopsis on what this film is about.
So the brief synopsis Larry touched on already. There is a crew or an unknown entity known as the Six Seas, and they basically control all the bad stuff going on in and out of Indonesia and Jakarta. We open with one of the Six Seas who has a lapse of consciousness where he's seeing a whole village, if you like, being mowed down, and what is left is a young girl where she experiences the horrifying vision of her parents being shot in front of her. And he comes forward from a line of men and he's coming to the decision to kill the young girl, decides not to, turns the gun on all of these men, and now he's on the run. The man we're talking about in question is Ito, who's played by Joe Tasman. Sub-Zero, for those who saw Mortal Kombat recently.
Yeah.
Which this boy auditioned for.
Trying to get with these Indonesian boys, you know, first, Iko with Expendables. Yeah, anyway, what can you do?
So he then basically goes back to an ex-girlfriend in Jakarta and members of his old gang, Faith and Sirius, I think it is. And from there, Fatty and Winsu and obviously Mr. White Boy Bobby.
Yeah.
And says, look, I need help. I need to get this girl out the passport, move her and hide. They try to help, but as they try to help, the Six Seas are already on his back. They basically want this girl get on rid of to basically send a message out that to all the other drug brands out there that we don't play around, we don't leave any stone unturned, this girl needs to be got, and so does the member of the Six Seas who's turned on us. What then ensues is the original gang that Ito was a part of, which also includes your boy Iko Uwais, who's now over in Macau, operating a nightclub, then basically called in to deal with him and to basically, get him to come out in the open. Iko turns up to help initially. He stops one of the assassins that's sent out to basically capture him, but then he's threatened after being almost shot at by a Faith, one of the old gang. He's threatened by the Six Seas and said, look, you can either take him out and you get nothing, or you can take him out and we'll let you become a member of the Six Seas. And then it follows forward to Ito trying to survive, as he then has to come face to face with his childhood friend Arian, played by Iko, as they engage in a big bloody battle at the end of it to find out if Ito is going to be able to survive and walk away from this, or if Iko is going to become the new member of the Six Seas. As you guys know, if you've seen it, Ito comes out on top, barely, but he comes out on top, and Iko's character is left to the demise of a few henchmen with machine guns for failing to take out Ito. And a character known as, is it the Messenger she's known as? Or she's known as the... the operator, who we don't know if she's sent in at the time to basically get rid of the Six Seas, if you like. She helps Ito during this period and she disappears at the end of the film to where we don't know. And it kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger because Ito walks off with the Six Seas still after him. We don't know where Julia Estelle's character, the operator, is going, and that's kind of where it finishes off.
Well, he puts the little girl on a boat.
He puts the little girl on a boat, yep.
And he gets shot up in the car.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry. Ito dies. I forgot about that part. Ito dies and he gets shot up in the car.
How are you going to miss that?
He gets shot up in the end. I completely forgot that part. So, yeah, Ito gets obliterated at the end of the car, putting the girl on the boat, and speaking to... Does he still speak to his ex-wife in the end? I can't remember. But,
no.
Doesn't, because he's put on a train already. But he gets shot up in the end. So the last person we know about that survives this is the operator.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do a sequel with her character, or like a sideways prequel or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of film. It is an absolute balls to the wall gore affair, as we mentioned before. It is a martial arts film, but it is a lot more heavy on the indulgence of the violence. And I think we can possibly go and talk about that one now. Should we do characters first? Or should we do scenes? Or
should we do characters first?
Yeah.
So what character stood out for you, Leon?
What's his name? Ito,
Joel Taslim, yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
For me. I don't know. I just connected with that character.
Yeah.
More than...
Actually, I agree with you because I thought... I've never seen Joel Taslim in a in a role where he actually had to emote and basically act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to say, he's
very good at it.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
That's why he's in the series, the Bruce Lee series currently at the moment. That's been on. He's one of the leads in that as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So what other characters stood out for you then?
Boy. Not many, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say it didn't hit me like the Raid or the Raid 2.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, just the way they did it, I didn't buy into the characters as much. Or just the stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Raid 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
did, you know?
Yeah.
I love a gore fest. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like, but in terms of, you know, the plot and it was okay. Everything was okay. The gore was great, but like you said, I feel like that was just an indulgence.
Yes.
So yeah, top heavy on that.
Yeah.
And less on the wraparound stuff that needed to be there.
Yeah.
There's no point having all that gore
For no reason.
and not enough stakes.
Right. Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I understand, you know.
Because I get you, because in the Raid, and especially in the Raid 2, because that Raid 2 is a bit of a gore fest, but there was reasons behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got why that happened.
Yes.
Yeah, like when you see Bejo on the floor and before he gets his face blown to bits, it's like, you know it's coming and he deserves what's coming.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like when it happens, it's punctuated, but you're like, you know what? It needed to happen.
Yeah, it needed to happen. Whereas a lot of the violence here was just gratuitous.
Yeah.
It was just, we like blood. Obviously Tahajanto is a Tarantino fan.
Yeah.
He's obviously a Tarantino fan. He loves his blood and gore, which is all good.
But he didn't write it, obviously.
Who
wrote? Do we know who?
Tahajanto wrote it.
I
He
wrote
and
it.
directed
Oh,
it.
and
Yeah.
so he really went in on the gore.
Yeah.
And I think he just lost his way a little bit on the plot.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
I tend to agree with that as well.
And which came first?
This was after the Raid went.
Yeah, this was after the Raid.
Yeah.
After the Raid 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
this is 2018, remember? The Raid 2 was 2014.
Yeah. So to be fair, I expect more.
Yeah, but then it wasn't Gareth Evans' helm in this. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Because that was a chemistry made in heaven.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think for me, well, let's go for the characters first. Let's go for the characters. So, I agree with you. Joel Taslim did a bang up job.
Yeah.
Yep.
As Ito,
Yep.
smashed it out of the park.
Did everything he could do.
Right.
Yes.
He
Within
really
that.
he emoted. He did a lot of what Iko does in his films.
Yes.
In the Raid and Raid 2, which is emote but not overact.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I can see Joel Taslim being a big boy in Hollywood soon. Seriously,
Yeah.
just as Iko's going about now. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he carries the film to a degree on his shoulders with his performance. Because he's got all the weight of the decisions that he makes throughout it, wherever it's what's happening to the original gang around him, he's losing them. He's got his ex-wife to play with. He's got the foreboding element of Aryan coming over and what's going to happen with that. So he's carrying a lot of the stakes throughout the film on his shoulders. And he plays that well. I mean, there's the moment literally where he's in the bathroom and the messenger knocks him out through the sink. And he gets up afterwards, so like he knows he's just lost to this person after what he's all been through, and he still gets up and has a conversation with her in the kitchen afterwards. And it's like, you know, who are you? What are you doing? And it's like, this is what I need to do. And he carries those moments with grace, and he still carries the stakes.
100%.
Poise.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
What other characters you wanna?
For me, I got to definitely say the two girls. So obviously, as we know, Julia Estelle, who plays the operator, like I said, messenger.
No.
The operator.
Message.
Message in a bottle. No, so she plays the operator in this one. Her martial arts, just from that, has gone up a notch.
A few notches, I would say.
Notches. There's definitely.
She's been doing it a little while now.
Like 4 or 5 years since the Raid 2. So like,
She kept up her training,
definitely. Like she has probably two of the standout moments in the film, which is her fight sequence with Joe Taslim, and then her fight sequence with Hannah Al Rashid, who plays Anna. When those two fight, it's probably I actually prefer that fight sequence
to the last
fight scene.
Yeah,
Because up until the moment where her intestines come up, which I think ruined the fight scene, up until that moment, it is a beautiful display of choreography.
Let's talk a bit about the other lady who was Rashid's partner.
You've then got Diane Sastro Wadoyo, who plays Alma.
We discussed this before you came.
Yeah. She's not a fighter.
We knew straight away being fighters.
She's not a fighter.
She's not a fighter.
She's a lover.
So if you notice, did you notice she was throwing a lot of hooks?
Yeah.
In her punches.
Yeah.
And when she was
They were.
and the person who was fighting her was throwing a lot of hooks as well. There was no straight punches.
And they were telegraphed as a mother.
Very telegraphed.
Right.
The reason why is because she's not a fighter. She doesn't know her. She hasn't got the speed and the timing.
Instincts. So right. She'd be late and she'd get punched in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I was telling Damien before you came, I was watching the film and her fight scenes. I was like, why is she throwing hooks all the time? And why are they telegraphed? And I was like, am I seeing things? Or so I rewound it and I watched it again. I was like, yeah, this ain't right. And then as Damien said, I watched her fight scene, Julia Stell's fight scene with Rashid, who played Elena, the blonde girl, and that was super fast. You remember that? That was super fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, the other one can't fight. Yeah, no. She can't fight.
But it's established literally the stand down bit where you've got Julia Stell in the middle and she pulls a pose like this, and then you've got Elena who literally just stands hands down like, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then Alma literally just like. The moment someone does this pose, it's like, you ain't never thrown a punch in your life. Just like,
Victoria, put up your dogs in here.
Let me do this, mate. Come on. Show me what you got, son. Show me what you got, son. Come on. Put him up. Shut up. Like, put your hands down. Just walk away. It's literally that.
On the cobble.
But, so the moment she does that, you establish straight away, if you know what a fighter looks like, this girl's not throwing a punch. That's no disrespect to her. She's obviously a good actress.
Yeah. No, in that respect, she was fantastic.
As an actress,
it was just the fight scenes that was.
However, she could be good now.
Maybe.
It's been 3 years.
Maybe.
She might come back and kick my ass. I have no idea, but
Maybe. I hope she's kept because Julia Stell's obviously.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, true. Very true.
It'll bring,
Julia Stell was kind of saved in the raid too by having the hammers because that allowed for a lot of the swinging. She didn't have to rely on hand-to-hand combat. But in this film, she upped her
big time. The fight with Joel Taslim showed that.
Yeah,
for me,
the takedown over the sink is ridiculously good. When she goes, clink!
That was like a WWE move, you know what I mean?
She even does.
It was sweet though.
There's a jiu-jitsu move she does as well in this. So I was like, okay. They incorporate a little bit of mixed martial arts in this. Like Donnie Yen's been doing it for the last 5-6 years, but they incorporate a bit more of that in this. And, she does it really well. She does like almost in an army role, an army role, which is basically like it's a jiu-jitsu one where you have to basically roll an opponent and take him down, and she does that to a T. But I think she's standout. Eleanor's a standout character. I think the guy who plays Faith.
He was good.
Abimana Arilasate. I'm sorry if I butchered his name.
Yeah,
he plays Faith very, very good.
Very good actor.
I don't think there's anyone weak in it. I think the only weak points of acting for the parts is the moment where, for some reason, and I think this is to push what they're capable of, but they decided to get them to speak English, and it ruins the moments for me because there's a problem when you get a person that's not their native language to speak it, and especially when they're coming from a place where they're still learning the craft of acting, and then you get them to then act in a dialect that's not their own. It's very hard for it to be natural. And like Iko, like even when he's acting in Mandarin, like when he's in Macau and he's talking to the guy, he's talking in Chinese, and like he's carrying that off because there's a rhythm and a flair to it, but it's got connections and tones that are very similar to Indonesian. So you can carry that off. But the moment he switches to English, it's like it just feels wooden.
It didn't,
and it's not his fault, but that's a direction.
It didn't. I didn't feel they needed to speak any English. I think because they didn't in the raid. Do you know what I mean? And it was fine. I kind of felt like that. What did you think?
I think. Leave English alone.
Leave
English alone. Stay true to what you're doing.
100%.
You know, and then like if I go somewhere and I'm learning the language, So someone could give us a script and we could learn the script. You could learn how to say it, but are you really going to deliver it?
Yeah.
The only reason it works in the Raid 2 is because the guy who plays Uko is actually, I think he's half American.
He can actually,
so he's got an American accent, so he speaks English fluently, so he can pull that off, and he can play the nuances, and he can play the subtext, and carry it.
Exactly.
But it's hard to play subtext, and it's hard to play nuances and play emotion when you're forced to focus on how you're saying the words. If you have to spend so much time, this is an actor's thing, but if you have to spend so much time focusing on
about
what you're
saying,
you've lost what goes underneath that.
And that's very true.
Carrying the character.
For instance, we get a lot of American accent parts, and that's why we constantly have to keep training our American accents so that we don't have to think about it too much when we are trying to do an audition. You know, so that's a good point.
I thought Asha, who plays Bermudez, the girl, she's great. I didn't like the fact that she's quite heavy in the action. Like, I don't like the fact she's stabbing the guy up in the car.
Yeah, but do you know what? Do you know what I like about that?
Right.
They did it how a little girl would stab someone.
Yes, they do.
That's what
they do.
That's
they
what
do. They do. But this is just a personal thing for me. Like, I love the film Leon. But there are moments in that where I was like, you didn't need to really have Natalie in that scene. Like, it just, because for me, I think as a father as well, is even more now so. But
I know what you mean.
When there's a child on set and they're seeing something like that, it's like, they're going to take that home with them a little bit, and there's something they shouldn't be exposed to. That's just me. I know they try to protect
realism as well.
That,
I don't know. I'll take your point. What would you
but
think?
she was good in it.
I'm in two minds because I'm of the ilk that they can really see what it is, that it isn't real. And this is make-believe. And all we're doing is playing. We're acting. It's not real. What you see is not real. So it actually depends on the maturity of the child. And the individual. Because I was the type of child, you can leave me at 11 years old. But you can't leave my brother at 11 years old because he burned down the house. It's down to individual children. So if I took my daughter on set, I know what she's like. She's not ready for that. She's not ready. But somebody else might be. They're just balanced enough. It doesn't resonate with them. It's just like, oh yeah, this is fun. And they're off.
And I sorry.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I get that because let's be honest. Children are acting all the time like that when they play fighting, playing cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, whatever.
Once I'm showing you the fake blood, this knife's not really real. It goes in when it goes in, and this and that.
Because some kids will take that seriously, and some kids will know. Okay, we're just playing. So I'd see both sides of it. I see both sides.
But it's definitely your child. Your child's maturity. You know your own child. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, not my child. Not ready. Not ready. Not ready.
Can I just say, I thought, because I did have misgivings when you told me that Iko was a villain in this. And I have to say, I didn't mind him in this so much. Because for me, because obviously I didn't know what the film was about until when you told me that. So I automatically thought it was just a straight-laced villain, straight-laced hero. Come to find out that really they're both a bit dirty. So for me, do you know what I mean? It didn't really matter that much. And he did show some admirable traits because he did try to help his friends.
He does try to.
Do you know what I mean? In there. So obviously the bit where he shoots up the people when Joel Taslim was in the car park. And then is it Joel? No, not Joel.
No, it's Faith.
Fatty.
So before that, he takes out what's her face. He uses his coat, wraps her head.
That's right. And kicks her through the door and all of that. And so he actually tries to help his pals because obviously they were all in gang together before. You know what I mean? But obviously he's a bit more ambitious. So he's shown some admirable traits. But at the end of the day, he's still a bad guy. And then Joel Taslim, he's not a straight-laced hero. Like, you've had your come to Jesus moment, as they put it, with seeing, not wanting the girl to die. But how many people have you killed before that? Do you know what I mean?
They're both borderline anti-heroes. Joel Taslim goes the hero route, and then Iko veers back.
Exactly. So, because like Joel Taslim, I'm like, how many villages have you slaughtered like that? Before you've had your come to Jesus moment. Do you know what I mean? So
in the name of Jesus.
It's just phrase, by the way, because
Yeah.
everyone knows I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
It's just a phrase. Come to Jesus. You
Yeah.
know? Anyway, yeah.
I was gonna say, actually, 'cause,
It's
like,
called
Iko-
comedy.
Don't get triggered. So yeah, Iko, like, I was gonna say that the first time I watched this was when it came out in 2018, and I remember being more impressed with Joel and everyone else. And I think because the Raid 2 was still so fresh in my mind, I'd seen it just before that as well. I just didn't buy him in it. Having watched it the second time, I forgot the establishing scene. Like, the establishing scene in Macau where he shoves the glass in the guy's face, and he's like, "Look at me." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the reason it works at that point is because up until that moment, he's delivering everything in Indonesian or in, I think it's either Mandarin or Cantonese, but he's delivering everything within those two dialects.
I think it's Mandarin or Cantonese.
Well,
yeah,
a natural dialect to him.
I think because I think a lot of Indonesians actually have Chinese descent, so I think it actually comes naturally to them as well.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so I don't think he would have. He was
can
able
switch.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. But you're right. That scene for me, it worked in that scene because you kind of feel for him in that scene because he's been because obviously he's calling the guy big brother. The guy's calling little brother. Come and pour my wine, like treat him like a prank, basically.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
smacking the
So
girl up
yeah,
in the waist
and
as well,
he's smacking the girl. So you kind of feel like give him a bit of a beating. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't feel no weight about it. So I see what they've done. They've kind of they've made you very sympathetic to his character from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which then helps with the stakes in the end fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And he almost does feel like the little brother to Joe Taslim, because I mean there is obviously the stature difference straight away. Which I didn't notice how much of a stature difference there was in the Raid, but like,
No.
it's established
Very,
very
yeah.
much because he's almost like a head taller than him.
Very apparent
Yeah.
in this one.
So there is like a big brother, little brother scenes, especially like during the final fight sequence where he straightens his tie. It's like, I'm the big brother now, I'm taking over. And Joe Taslim's like, no, you're not. But, I think the reasons why I lost him as the bad guy is because it is the moments where he speaks in English, and that's the turn for him, where he does the full kind of turn and goes to the dark side, because that's all delivered in English. And I was like, had they have done that in Indonesian, I think I would have bought it a bit more.
I'm wondering why they did that though. Because he could have done that, because obviously that's when he's talking to Chen Wu.
Yeah.
So obviously they I don't know, maybe Chen Wu, because I think from what I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Chinese Indonesians speak Cantonese, and obviously mainland China speak Mandarin. So maybe there was that difference there because they're not similar. Completely different languages. So maybe that's why they couldn't speak to each other in a Chinese language. Because I'm just like you guys. I'm like, why did that need to be in English?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the only reason I can come up with. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but
Emotional characters.
But so let's go into certain scenes. Now I want to touch on this scene before you guys go.
Go on.
The last fight scene. I spoke to Damien about this just briefly before you came. I'm in two minds about it. On the one hand, I like how, and I think you'll agree with me on this, I like how they made it messy, because obviously they're two skilled guys, right?
Yes.
But when guys who are friends or who were friends are fighting, there's a lot of emotion involved.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be using all your skill.
No.
It'll be a bit of skill, a bit of anger, you know what I mean?
Bit
Do you
scatty.
know what I mean? And so I think they managed to portray that quite well.
Yeah, they did.
So on that hand, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, as I just said, we know, even as actors, they are two very skilled martial artists.
Yep.
And so I expected a little bit more from the fight scene.
Right.
More like a Raid 2 type of fight scene. So, and I don't feel we got that. It was a lot of slashing and that kind of stuff, and it wasn't really... And I got why they did it again, like I've said, but I don't know, what did you think? What did you think?
I prefer the females fighting.
Yes. And that's what Damien...
That's what Damien said.
Yeah.
I preferred that.
100%.
It just bought into it more. I bought into it more. The last scene, that's it. They're highly skilled. I feel like maybe my man didn't. What's his name? Mad Dog. He didn't choreograph this one.
No, he wasn't involved. No.
You can see. You could see he wasn't involved in certain things because just the way it was done, it was good, but it weren't.
Actually, you make a very good point, because
weren't
now I see why Gareth Evans said he wouldn't do a martial art film
without
him.
Yeah. Yes.
So that shows me that he was more involved in the choreography than Iko.
Yeah.
In the raid film.
But that's what when I've looked around, he was. He's the main dude, like on the choreography.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
maybe I feel like it's missing his magic.
Yeah.
A little bit. As for, like Iko playing the bad guy, when we used to watch films, the bad guy, nobody wanted to be the bad guy because it could ruin their image. But now, they, just like we spoke before on Luke Cage, and you buy into the bad guy so much, you could go any of those paths, just depending on how you felt.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel the same. Like, when I'm growing up, when Mr. T was the bad guy, I hated that he was the bad guy because I loved Mr. T. And then he was there.
For the 80s.
I'm beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was like being ignorant, and I was like, I don't want him to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And even in the second fight, I didn't want him to lose, so I got it back then.
Yeah.
But now that they really give you the character. Well, some films they do. Some films they're still doing that.
Exactly.
I'm just bad because I'm bad.
And
that doesn't wash with me.
I think the audience, or some of the audience anyway, have matured.
I think we're too smart for that now.
Yeah, because I think that, again, you make a very good point. I mean, I that's why I did buy, because I remember I said to you when you said he was the bad guy.
Me as well. I was thinking,
do you know what I mean? But then when I watched it, I was like, no, I could buy that.
There's layers.
Yeah, exactly. There's layers.
Because you think you could even watch something like The Raid 3 if they made one. Where he goes dark or he goes bad. For example, because of what he's seen, what he's been through. You could do the old Steven Seagal kills his wife and child and whatnot. No, but and then you bought into him, and you probably want him to win against any hero that came in. Even if it was The Rock himself.
That's true.
That's
true.
Yeah, so
that's true.
They play on fine margins. There's fine margins. So hero, bad guy. Not much in it. Not much in it. So
what do you think, Damien?
In regards, in terms of scenes, my favourite scene is, as I mentioned earlier, is the girl fight scene, and it's for many reasons. The first one is, I think it definitely establishes that Julia Estelle now has lifted herself to a certain pedestal.
Big up Julia Estelle.
Yeah, you won the Jackie Chan award back for the Raid 2, which you definitely was a newcomer, and I think going forward from this, you definitely deserve to be put on her. She's almost got like what Michelle Yeoh had back in the day. She should now have that. Like, I think you should now start giving her own material, because she's a side actress. She's a side actress, and she establishes that even more in this one. Number 2, that girl's a beautiful girl. And number 3, she's a kick-ass martial art. From what she's done,
she's now becoming a kick-ass martial art, 100%.
So she can carry a film.
She look very different as well from Raid 2, isn't it?
You've got Francesca scarred up face. And
that's true.
Very different. That's a natural look.
I didn't recognise it until I saw the cast.
But the reason why that scene resonates so much for me is because where the rest of the film was mentioned before, there's this overindulgence in the hack and slash moments, and there's parts where in the Raid they had a punctuated scene where every time there was a bit of gratuitous violence, it had an emotive beat to it, or it had something to move the narrative along, or something you connected to within the characters and the narrative. With this, throughout the entire film, there are moments where someone's neck is getting hacked away. By the 9th hack, I'm like, I don't need to see the hack anymore.
I'm over it now.
I'm over it. Like the butcher shop scene I didn't enjoy that scene. Me personally, I didn't enjoy that scene. There's a bit where they're cutting through with the angle grind. I don't need to see it, And it's the same with the penis shot on the pool table in the last gang scene. I don't need to see that. I just didn't need it. But
that was with the hook, wasn't it?
Yeah, the hook. But like with the girls' fight sequence. The hook
you gotta do that face.
Because you gotta imagine it's yours.
You know what I mean? When you was a child, you got it caught in the zip, and that was enough. You remember them zip? On a cold winter's morning, going to school. Mum! You know them ones.
And then you're embarrassed to see your mum, to see your things.
The killer is you're scared to move.
No.
You don't go up, you don't go down. You don't try and get it out. You sort of just hold.
Oh man! Oh god!
Apart from the brief penis tangent,
Yeah.
Bar that, like the girls' fight sequence up until the ending part of it, like it's a beautiful piece of choreography.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think they ruined the end of it because it's like I remember the fight sequence and I forgot how it ends, and they kind of carry it by them fighting over the dead bodies. Like, okay, fair enough. The aesthetic is you've still got all the gore in there, but the choreography is still beautiful. They're not busting each other up to the point that there's stuff falling off.
Yeah.
And then she looks down and her
Slashes
guts
her
are hanging out,
guts,
and then she pulls it through a forearm. I was like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Okay, nah. I wouldn't say I minded that much, but I thought it was a very. It was a very abrupt end to a brilliant fight scene.
Like, she could have put her down the stairs out of the wall. I'm done with that.
Because I kind of felt the first death with the dark haired girl. That was pretty gory.
Yeah.
You know, fingers cut off. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that was enough gore. So, you know, you got the real fighter now. You got the two gladiators there battling it out. Give them an honourable kind of... No, maybe honourable's a bit much, but...
Yeah.
You know, just give them a warrior's death kind of thing.
Yeah, warrior's death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you know,
Warrior's
the
death.
ones hanging out with the guts and the hands. And I just thought it's...
Yeah.
I mean, from a technical standpoint, it's even shot beautifully. I mean, they do a lot of stuff tricking with shadows and with lighting, especially when she turns up and Ito's looking around the room and you just see a glimpse of the shadow on the wall, and that's how you know she's there.
Yeah. Although I will say about the shots, I didn't like the shot they did with Ito when he came into the warehouse and he's blocking people and they're coming from his point of view.
They do a POV.
I didn't like that.
I don't POV shots from it. They made a film. I can't remember what it was called. It was like hardcore.
And it was all POV.
Yeah, hardcore. And it's got a thing out the 18-minute. The South African actor was also in District 9.
I know you're talking about
Charlotte Copley.
Yeah.
So Charlotte Copley's in this film, hardcore, where it's the whole thing is done POV, and I refrained from watching it. So one, it's jarring for me, and two, after what it just feels like, it becomes like it's kind of ultra gore, pornographic, ultra violent kind of thing. I just don't
even for me, those shots, if you watch them very carefully, I thought. You can actually see he's not actually.
Yeah,
the hits are not.
Yeah, the hits are not touching properly.
You can see it. You can see it.
I think it just exposed it more. It's just more obvious. I understand what you're trying to do, but you can see you're trying to cheat the camera. And cheat the angles and just get it done quicker.
That's the reason why The Raid 2 is such a brilliant film, because they established the fight sequences with wide shots and they let it play out. There's no need for us to see the gimmick POV shots and hats off for trying it, but for me personally, as you as well,
don't try it again.
It didn't sit too well with me.
POV. There's a reason nobody does POV films. And that's it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, is there any other scenes you wanted to touch on?
Not particularly.
Any scenes you wanted to touch on? Yeah, I mean, overall for me, it was nowhere near the two Raid films. For me, actually, I'll be honest with you, there weren't enough martial arts in there for me.
No,
there weren't, because a lot of the fights were very either messy or a lot of hacky cutlasses, machetes, you know, that kind of stuff, which I get. Because I know a lot of that probably does go on in Indonesia, but at the same time,
we're old school.
Yeah, we want to see
a punch up.
Yeah, we want to see the skill, the raid 2, that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I want to. You know, I mean, we're probably spoiled, but you know, I mean, I listen. I enjoyed the film, but it's nowhere near the two Raid films for me. For me, that's a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I don't know. What do you guys feel?
I'm probably not going to be as nice as you, generous as you. I'm going to push it to probably a 5 to a 6.
Really?
It's not my. I mean, mainly because I'm not. This is a personal thing. I'm not a huge gore hound. Like I didn't. If you've seen the Saw films, they weren't my cup of tea. I didn't enjoy them. So
cramp in my arm.
Like the Raid 2 pushed it to the brim of where I like my gore. That sat there, it had reasons for it, and I could stomach that. But this, where you start to enjoy it too much and you indulge in it, I could check out at that point. So from a martial arts aspect, I'll give it probably a 7. Like the last fight sequence with Iko is still good, but the box cutter through the mouth and the breaking the shin and the eye again and still being okay.
They shipped, one's got him in the neck and the other's got him through the mouth.
I was like, okay, you're dead by now. Like, just go. You're dead. You died 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This
is your ghost fighting.
Yeah. Your spirit is now taken over. Your
Like, I don't think if you get shivved in the neck like that with your voice box and everything, you'll still be able to stand there shooting. Okay, yeah, you didn't hit the target. I don't even think you'll be able to stand. You're losing so much frigging blood.
Yeah.
But,
and air and everything.
Yeah. So you think...
mine's like a 5-6 out of 10. And it's not to knock the film. I think the performances are good.
Yeah.
I think narratively it's okay. Choreography is not bad. But yeah, I think definitely I've been spoiled by the Raid 1 and 2. So
100%.
I have to back away on my score for that one.
Leon, what would you rate this film?
Much like Damien, I think there's a time and a place for gore.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place. And I like my gore more towards the end. You know, like you've been through so much and you just tear up a man at the end. Yeah? But just what happens is you desensitize to it.
Yeah.
And it becomes meaningless.
Yes.
Yeah? If everyone you come across, you cut through the stomach or cut their throat, then, you know.
There's a reason why the first Saw movie works.
Yes.
Because up until the bit where he cuts through his legs, you don't really see much gore.
No.
The sequels that follow were just
every
gore,
5
gore,
seconds,
gore.
a head explodes, eyes pop out.
Yeah.
So, I just think it was just overkill with the gore. Like you guys, spoilt by the Raid, loved the Raid 1 and 2, both of them equally, but the Raid, 2 that's slightly better. So what did I give the Raid 1?
You gave
At
1
first
8.
I gave it 8.
You first gave it 10. Then after watching 2, you gave it 8.
Yes.
And gave the Raid 2 10.
I'm gonna say like you a 6.5.
Right.
It's gonna be about a 6.5.
Right.
Acting and what they did, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't fault any of the actors.
No, not at all.
I just think the plot and it's just a bit overkill. It's something he wrote and directed. Labor of Love or something. I think that's just more his thing. And there are people that love that.
Oh yeah.
It is. Like Tarantino.
Yeah,
like
which is obviously a fan.
You play that to your mum. They're like, what?
My mum wouldn't watch that.
Like, you play Kill Bill to your mum or your grandma or something. They're lost.
Yeah.
Whereas, there's an audience that love it. So I think this is for some people, not for others.
Yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
6.5.
Yeah,
definitely worth a watch if you haven't watched it.
I'll definitely say it's worth watching. I wouldn't say it's something that you would.
Well, I'm happy. Well, I only watched the Raid 1 and 2 for the first time, but I can't wait to watch it again.
Yes,
for the little bits that I missed, because it's so fast paced.
Yes,
I'm not in a hurry to see this one again.
But
Raid 1 and 2,
100%,
100%. That's where we're at. That's
where we're at. Yeah. So, guys. So especially
the average is between us is like 6.
Pretty much. So, guys, especially you guys. Supporters from Indonesia, man. What do you think of our rating? What do you think of our review? I mean, you guys...
Too harsh?
You guys are telling us to review this, and we have, and we don't think it measures up to both Raid films. We respect the fact that a lot of you guys like gore, and to a certain extent, we do too, to a certain extent. But it's got to have context behind it. Like the Raid 2, even with its gore, you can understand it. Like, this is why I said context. So as I always said to Leon about the Raid 2 with the prison scene, I always talked about the stabbings and stuff. But you expect to see that. It's prison. Do you see what I'm saying? It's Indonesian prison and that. So that's not a nice place to be. It's not a hotel prison over here.
This is like the prison scene, but rather than mud, they just filled it with blood.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So that's basically what there needs to be, especially comes as actors, we need to see why there's so much violence. And is it just like sex scenes, is it necessary for the plot? Or is it just because you want to put the sex scene in there and
Yeah,
pander
who is it
to
for?
exactly
Who is it for?
pander to certain people basically. So yeah, that's the long and shorts of it. So please let us know what you thought of our review in the comments down below, and let us know what other films you would like us to review. I mean, I'm thinking Headshot next.
Yeah.
We can go back and see Marantau if you want to.
Marantau,
Is that on Netflix?
So Marantau's Gareth Evans. It's not on Netflix, but I can borrow it to both of you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, let
us know.
You guys let us know. We have a few days before we go and watch these films and before we review them. So let us know. Would you like us to review Marantau, or would you like us to review Headshot? Let us know in the comments down below what you think. So yeah, that is the end of this review. So
if you've made it this far, like, share, subscribe, Boomski.
Yes, and turn on your notifications if you have
You always
subscribed.
fuck this notifications thing.
Bruv, it's important, man. You know what I mean? They need to know. They need to know when the video gets posted, isn't it?
Okay, if you want to get notified,
Ring the bell.
There you go.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, ding ding.
Yeah,
I love that tune. I need a
What?
word. What? Okay. Yeah, so that's it from us, guys. So please catch us again. We're going to be coming up with a few things. We're going to have the review of the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye coming up real soon. So stay tuned for that. But for me, LarryOlubamiwo and
Damien Ashley.
and
Sexual chocolate. It's the L Rock.
that's a goodbye from us, man. Take care. I think you should leave that in.